Alright, hello, this is Zimmeron, and thank you for watching this video. And this video is one of that I sort of don't always like doing these sort of video comparisons, comparing, in this case, Clickfunnels to lead pages, because I don't like to talk badly of other software systems and so forth, because they all have their own place, and they all do what they do, and I don't want to talk badly about another system and talk badly about anything really. I'd prefer to sort of keep away from that sort of controversy. But the bottom line is, if I had to compare lead pages to ClickFunnels, what would that look like, and why would I choose ClickFunnels over lead pages, or why would I choose lead pages over ClickFunnels? Okay, well, firstly, I just want to express that this is unbiased, okay, meaning that I am an affiliate for lead pages. I do use lead pages, and I have used lead pages. I have a current account. As you can see, I'm logged in. I also have an account with ClickFunnels. Okay, now ClickFunnels is newer, so I'm going through the process of moving everything over to ClickFunnels. And ClickFunnels overall is a little bit more expensive on the surface than lead pages. Okay, so let me just get all of that aside. And I say that ClickFunnels is more expensive on the surface because when you go in and you sign up and you go for your monthly subscription or your yearly subscription, you are going to be paying more monthly or annually for ClickFunnels than you are for lead pages. However, lead pages on the lower level accounts do not give you a lot of functionality, meaning, and I should say that more accurately, you don't get the split testing side of things. And the split testing side of things, for me personally, is the single most important feature that you need and you should be doing with every single sales funnel that you build. You should be testing them. You should be driving a little bit of traffic to each sales funnel that you create, whether it's $10 a day or $20 a day for a few days, and see which versions of your opt-in pages or your sales pages, your landing pages, squeeze pages, whatever, and see how they perform, and see which ones perform the best, and then optimize those so that when you start driving traffic, whether it's free traffic or whether you start doing your the higher level paid advertising, that you know for certain that people are going to react positively to what you're offering and the way you're offering it. Okay, there is nothing worse than investing tens of thousands of dollars of marketing expenses in a business, if you choose that route, or do all this work, and at the end of the day, your offer is great, your product is great, but your sales sequence, your sales funnel is crappy. It's not incentivizing people to buy. It's just not working. And you do not know that if you can't test it. I don't care who you hire, what you think, or what you believe, or how well you think you know your audience. It's a fact. It is the single biggest fact that kills online businesses, and it's certainly a factor that allows you to be able to multiply and increase your profits very significantly just by testing and tweaking. And as I said, you can start off with a very low amount of testing as far as driving traffic to your pages to get an idea, and then tweak and tweak and tweak. If you spend $30, $40, $50 driving traffic to your pages, you'll very quickly be able to see the numbers and see which ones work best. So that's one of the limitations. If you don't go for their full-blown enterprise system, you don't get that, and you're fairly much SOL as far as being able to test things, unless you have another third-party split testing system. Now, the other issue with lead pages is that none of your pages are interlinked. Okay, so if I build a sales page, or I select an opt-in page, or a webinar page or whatever, there's no way to interlink them. They're independent of one another, which means when you're building out your sales funnel, you really have to be on top of interlinking all of your pages. Okay, there's no drag and drop interface for creating the whole sequence, and it doesn't all interlink together and all of that sort of stuff. Okay, so that is also a major problem, because if you're not watching what you're doing and you're not tracking all the links and interlinking everything correctly, you could accidentally screw things up and mess things up, and again, that could be very costly if you don't catch it before you start driving a lot of traffic. Okay, now one of the things that they claim, okay, is that they allow you to be able to sort the templates by conversion rate. Okay, so what they do is that they've got this little checkbox here, and you can bring up all the templates that are available based on whatever you select here on the side, and you can go in here and see what templates are their highest converting templates. Okay, now look, to be really honest, it's a little bit misleading, okay, because while it is true that certain template designs may work better than others, so therefore that can be an influencing factor, then how are they able to pull those statistics accurately if the people using the system have completely different offers, completely different levels of being able to write copy or create videos or sell people on the pages? Okay, and their headlines, some people are more skilled at headlines, or blah 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 blah. So it's really, really difficult to get an accurate figure on that. So fairly much, them saying, oh, we have, that you can sort by conversion rate and all of that, it's fairly useless. Okay, other than just helping you to maybe just see that some designs may work better than other designs. Okay, but unless you do your own testing, it really isn't very helpful beyond that. But as you can see, they have about 100, maybe about 100 or 40 or 50 templates in here. I can't tell you, to be honest. But if I just go in here, click a template, and I'll just go in there and pull it up, okay, to edit it. Now this is where I've had the most frustration with lead pages. Okay, and if I just go in here and let me just sort of open all of this up. I've got a lot of screens open and so forth because I'm a bit of a computer geek and web development geek, so it's just the way it is. But here you can see, here is their, they've only just made all of their templates responsive. Okay, but as you can see, they've got this whole section here and all these different areas that you're able to edit. Now you can go in here and click in here and edit things. Okay, and you go in here and edit the time. But as you can see, you can also hide various elements. Okay, but a lot of the customization really takes place over here on the side here, and you can see that the different elements you can go into, and you can sort of, if I highlight this, in theory, let's just go here. I'm just trying to see here. Okay, if I highlight this, okay, so anyway, you can see I'm sort of getting a little bit confused. I really just don't like it. They've got their page options, they've got their lead magnet options, they've got conversion goals that you're able to set up if you want to. You can view this in different format and see what the pages will view. All similar stuff that Clickfunnels does have. Okay, but I'm just trying to go into something here. I just find it really annoying, to be honest. Okay, here we go. So, I click on wanting to say change the host here. Okay, if I click on edit, it allows me to go in there and select a different picture if I wanted to. I can change the name of it, and then over to the side here I can expand this and go in and be able to change some of that text. Now here, if I go down to these bullet points and I change this section here, click on edit and I go down here, I have to find where this is. I guess this is content list. Trying to see, but look, to me it's a little bit not intuitive. Now also, you cannot add any other elements to the actual page itself, so you're sort of fairly much, you can turn things off. Okay, so I can go in here and hide this and hide that. You can go here to styles to change the styles in here for some of the sections, so you can make the background color and the header a different color. Okay, I'm just trying to be very quick here. But look, at the end of the day, no matter what I do, I can't add a new section. Okay, I can't really change, like this whole section here, I can hide it. Okay, but I can't make that into something else. Okay, so I can't really just come in here, it's just a content bar, but yeah, now that I've hidden it, I can't do anything. So if I wanted this to become just a block of text, or let's just say for some reason I wanted to go in here and add a video, or whatever else, it starts becoming extremely complicated. So you're very restricted to what they want you to do, and honestly, it just becomes more time consuming. If you're happy with the template layout and you just want to go in there and change your verbiage a little bit, and set it up that way, that's great. It's not too bad for that. There is a little bit more of a learning curve though, because the editor is just a little bit clunky and very limited to in some areas to font colors that are limited to very strict colors in here, and you can sort of go in here and test, change some of them, but again, I can't go in here, and if I wanted this section here to have bullets in here, I can't even add bullets. Okay, so again, I'm trying to highlight all the things that I have not liked about lead pages, and is the primary reason why I will not renew my subscription when it expires in December. I just have no intention. I don't need lead pages anymore. I just don't. Clickfunnels handles everything, but not only does Clickfunnels handle everything, it also allows me, as I said, to split test. It allows me to drag and drop and build my entire sales funnel, and it interlinks everything together. The membership portion of it, if I wanted to build a membership site, it can host my membership content and run my whole membership site for me, something that lead pages cannot do. It's just basically a pain in the ass, to be quite frank, as far as that's concerned. And it's, even though it's less expensive, it really isn't, because you do need to have all these other elements. And look, the way I look at it, if I have to spend time fiddling around with trying to get some of these templates to look a certain way for me, okay, and these are my personal preferences. If I'm not happy with a specific template, then I don't want to be spending hours setting it all up and then realizing it's not adequate for my purposes. And that's happened to me many times, where I will select a template that looks like it's ideal, I start setting everything up, and it's got restrictions that are deal breakers for me, and I just wasted a couple of hours doing this. And you know what? If I bill my time at 50 or 100 or $200 an hour, or let's just say I'm just really a cheapo and I don't bill that much or don't value my time that much, and I bill myself, say, $20 an hour, wasting my time doing this, and ClickFunnels can take me, 1/5 of the time, then the extra amount that I might be paying monthly for ClickFunnels or whatever gets made up extremely quickly. Plus, I don't need a split testing system if I don't happen to have an enterprise level system, and I don't need to do all the other machinations to get this working for me. Now, over here in ClickFunnels, besides the fact that it has a super easy interface to go ahead and create my funnel, there's not really a lot of hoopla. There's not a lot of distractions on the screen. Here's a webinar replay actually from ClickFunnels, not from ClickFunnels, from Lead Pages. But when I go in here and I choose my opt-in templates, I have all of these different templates to choose from. I have a 2-step templates as well. They also have the video templates that they're separating out now to just make it very, very simple. But again, the main thing is that when I go in here and select a template that I like, I want to get something that might be just a little bit more. Use this template here. The biggest thing that I want to emphasize as being the main difference is if I go in here and I open this up in the editor, okay, the overall interface in ClickFunnels is so simple. But when I go in here, I can do the same thing. I can change my verbiage and do whatever I want. I have the editor for this here, right here. Okay, so I can go in here and bold and unbold my text. As you can see, I can add links if I want to as well. I've just got a little bit more flexibility, and then I'm also able to go in here and change the color of the headline if I want to, or certain sections of it. Okay, it just becomes way simpler as far as I'm concerned. I can also add entirely new sections to my templates. Okay, a full column section, and I can add different elements. I could put an image in here if I wanted to. Okay, and I can just start building it out and making it into whatever I want it to be. So I'm not limited in any way. And honestly, all of these templates that are in ClickFunnels are proven templates. But at the end of the day, the only proof you have with the templates that you're selecting is testing, split testing, and going out there and really building your funnel and doing the split tests. And again, Lead Pages does not allow you to do that. And I really urge you to watch some of my other videos if you want to know more about ClickFunnels. But I'm telling you now that overall the cost of ClickFunnels in the long term ends up being far less than all the other systems out there, simply because of their sheer ease with which you're able to go in here and manipulate your templates. And create your split testing, and have all of your email marketing, and have your pages be able to just interlink just by dragging and dropping in. You can add as many pages to each of your funnels as you want. You can have upsells, downsells, sideways sells, whatever types of sells that you want. Again, I apologize for the longer videos here, but I just want to be honest, and I want to at least show you what you're up against when it comes to some of these systems. And here I can just very simply just use a template and go in there and edit them, and have a lot of fun with my templates. Okay, and just open them up in the editor and make them into whatever I want to make them into. Okay, it just really just can't get any better than that as far as that's concerned. Okay, so trust me on that. If you're not a tech savvy person and you want to be able to create fast sales funnels, but you still want a little bit of you still want to have the flexibility to be able to be creative with your designs, then ClickFunnels hands down beats Lead Pages. Hands down, for simplicity, for ability to customize your templates, for offering split testing to all levels of membership, and overall, you're going to save a lot more money and time with ClickFunnels than you will with Lead Pages. So please, if you're interested in getting a free trial, they've got a free trial for a limited time for ClickFunnels. Please make sure that you get it. If they still don't offer the 2-week trial at the time that you watch this video, I really urge you to sign up and give it a whirl. Especially if you're an existing Lead Pages user. You can download your Lead Page templates and still have them integrate into your existing systems, and then you can eventually just transfer everything over into ClickFunnels and have ClickFunnels manage your entire sales system. Both systems integrate with Facebook. Both systems, are responsive, meaning that they fit in mobile screens and all of that. And both systems allow you to integrate into WordPress as well. Okay, thank you.